Let's go on a road trip. If you boil Beast of Reincarnation's plot down to its essential beats, that's what you get. Emma and her allies are making their way to the capital city to defeat the beast that gives the game its name.
Every story is just Journey to the West, is what some people would say. That or the Odyssey.
That's not even a reductive statement in my opinion. These two ancient tales are the prototypical hero's journeys. The main character and their companions go from point A to point B, overcoming obstacles and growing along the way. In modern times, these are often road trip stories. Think Final Fantasy XV, where Noctis and his friends are also headed to the capital at the beginning of the game. Beast of Reincarnation is one of these road trips, but instead of riding in a car, you're in this Cleanswalker that looks like a cousin to the AT-ATs in Star Wars. They've got whole squads of stormtroopers in there, and the walker in this game is also carrying its own crew. I want to talk about them. You see, Emma's companions don't just bring different mechanics to the game, they also give us insight into this fascinating world. We have to start with Emma herself, not because she's the character we control, but because her backstory is a great way to set up the world at large. Beast of Reincarnation is a post-apocalyptic game. Civilization already fell 1,000 years ago, and now every 100 years, a monster literally called the Beast of Reincarnation returns. It's the source of a plague known as the miasma. This blight corrupts anything it touches, everything from people in cities to trees in the forest. That's why the game has this aesthetic of nature overrunning abandoned buildings. Some human beings were so desperate to escape the blight that they placed their souls into robots, known as golems. But even these metal bodies were corrupted in time. And they're not your only enemies. Mutated animals known as Malefacs also emerged from the miasma. They look like Pokémon turned into Dark Souls enemies, and from a design standpoint, that is literally what they are. Beast of Reincarnation comes from Game Freak, best known for the Pokémon franchise. This is that team's take on a Souls-like, plus a little dose of menu-based commands for good measure, but we'll get to those later.
I said this part was about Emma, so let's talk about her.
In every post-apocalyptic story, there's always a chosen one with some sort of special power. In The Last of Us, it's Ellie, who's immune to the cordyceps parasite that turns everyone else into mushroom monsters. In Death Stranding, Sam Porter Bridges has a condition called Dooms, which lets him connect to people who've passed away. In Beast of Reincarnation, Emma is not just unaffected by the blight, she can also absorb it, stealing powers from the Malefacs she faces. People call her a vessel, a purifier, a sealer, even stained. There are many names for someone with her special powers. That's why she's been tasked with taking down the Beast of Reincarnation in the capital, plus any other major Malefacs along the way. The really big ones are known as Nushis, and they're the bosses you'll need to beat at the end of each chapter. They even have second stages, which is totally Game Freak sneaking in Pokémon evolutions if you ask me. Like I said at the top, Emma is not alone on this journey. There's a whole crew inside the Cleanswalker, although your most loyal companion comes along before you ever climb aboard. Ku is a Malefact, but he's not like the other monsters out there. He fights alongside Emma.
Also, his name sounds really funny if you speak Portuguese.
As seen in a flashback, Emma and Ku first met before she got her current mission. She had already been called in to deal with Malefacs by that point, but when she saw Ku injured in the woods, she spared him. From that moment on, the two of them were entangled. The first example of this bond was when Ku showed up to help her fight a Nushi that was tearing through the city of Ogauchi. Emma and Ku had a literal bonding moment by fusing their strands of tree branch hair together, hello Avatar Ikran scene, and from then on, they were inseparable. So early on, Ku shows that Malefacs aren't necessarily all bad. This is reinforced when we meet Kunai a little later, as she has a companion of her own. Again, this is a Game Freak game, so you know you're gonna get some sort of monster sidekick. Ku functions a lot like a Pokémon too. While you're doing the Souls, parries, and dodges, you can also open a command menu that briefly pauses the battle to let you select one of Ku's bloom attacks. It's really giving Pokémon Legends. Combat is Ku's main contribution to the game, mechanically speaking. He levels up at the same pace as Emma, so you'll be investing in both of their skill trees over the course of the game. It's worth pointing out that Emma's companions shine at different times during the story. Some pay off once we get their backstory, while others keep their secrets close to the chest for longer. Ku is the kind that stands by your side from the very beginning, slowly improving over the full run of the game. Kagura is the kind that starts chipping in as soon as she's able. The problem is, she starts the game asleep, recovering from some injuries. From the tutorial through most of the opening chapter, there's not much to say about the unconscious girl lying on the bed inside the Cleanse Walker. But when we track down our first Nushi, we're called back to the Walker before actually going into its lair. When we do, we get another flashback to Ogouchi. This time, we learn that even though Emma was an outcast, there were still some people in town who cared about her. Kagura was one of them. She's a sweet little girl who brought Emma food. She's shown to be a good person right out of the gate. That's why it sucks when she gets trampled by that Nushi that Ku helps us fight. Once we, the players, learn about these events in the past, Kagura wakes up in the present. At that point, she serves as our cook, which makes sense since she was already bringing Emma food. We can bring her recipes and ingredients, and the Cleanse Walker even has its own incubator and grow chamber for raising chickens and small crops that build up Kagura's stock. With this, we can cap off each day with a home-cooked meal before sleeping inside the safety of the Walker. Even better, these meals come with permanent stat boosts. Kagura's contribution to the gameplay is a cooking system, but just like Ku, she also tells us more about the world at large, not directly, but simply by her presence. The Beast of Reincarnation spawns every 100 years, which means humanity gets 3, maybe 4 generations to reproduce before the chaos returns. Kagura is a kid, so she embodies the future that we're fighting for. If the beast comes back, then it'll be Kagura's potential grandkids who have to fight it. If Emma succeeds in her mission, then humanity can continue beyond that point.
I think I'm gonna put Homer's Maggie board up here just for another pop culture reference.
Now let's talk about Brad. Like Kagura, he's also there from the very beginning. And, well, also like Kagura, we don't really know his deal at first. He's just the dude driving the Walker while wearing a gas mask. No judgment on the mask. There is a plague out there. But before we see his face, we learn that Brad has mechanical aptitude and a kind heart. He takes a protective tone when Emma leaves the Walker, a vehicle he also cares about in a fatherly way. That's for good reason. This Walker we've been riding in the whole time is actually a person. People put their souls into the golems, but they also put them into the Cleanse Walkers. They're supposed to detect miasma and malefax, so that human spirit serves as a radar. The soul in this machine belonged to someone named Bauera. And here I've been calling it Walker this whole time. Ku is our connection to the Malefax, Kagura is a stand-in for young humanity, and Brad is the link to the golems. He has knowledge of the world before it fell to the beast, and because he respects that history, he also values these robots. Besides, they're not all bad. Some of them point us to new weapons and serve as merchants. Brad himself is the first merchant most players will encounter, since he can trade goods right from the cockpit of the Cleanse Walker. That's Brad's mechanical contribution to the game, giving us access to more materials and special gear early on. But in a grander sense, he's part of the old world, the one that deposited itself inside of the golems. Why he gravitates toward them isn't really something I want to expound on in this video. I promised I'd keep my spoilers to the first 2 chapters. But that is enough time to learn that Brad knows more than he's letting on. Apparently he's even in cahoots with Kunai in some way.
Hey, what's with all the secrets, Brad?
Of course, no one is more mysterious than Violet, and that's why she's closing out this video. I mean, not even she knows who she really is, according to early cutscenes. She's not from this world, and she appears as a blue ghost that only Emma can see. Big Return of the Jedi vibes there. I didn't think I'd be referencing Star Wars twice in this video, but here we are. Also, the Beast of Reincarnation calls out to Violet in visions, so that can't be good. For now, that's actually where I want to cut this off. For purposes of this video, and for the sake of later spoilers, I think her dream link to the Beast is sufficiently intriguing.
Also, the game has been out for literally 1 day as I'm posting this video, so if you already know the truth about Violet, I don't know, touch grass, man. But not this grass. This grass will blight you.
I will also use Violet as my call to action. If you want to learn more about her, and really any of the Cleanse Walker crew, then you ought to play Beast of Reincarnation yourself. There is so much more to learn about the world and the people who inhabit it. There are other Malefact trainers like Kunai out there, and I didn't even have a place for Mikoto, the boy who respecs your skill tree, in this video. It's a sudden ending, but it's my video, darn it. Go play Beast of Reincarnation. It's a Souls game from the Pokémon people, and it's got cool boss fights.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what I'm doing here on Framework, please hit that subscribe button right above me. I would really appreciate it if you do. You can also watch another one of my videos here on the left. You can also follow that other link to support me on Patreon. That's what these fine folks over here are doing. Thank you once again for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.